My company sent me to cover a digital art showcase on the island on a Thursday evening. Free event, good for the portfolio, good for meeting people in the industry. My boss said go and represent us well. I put on my best dress, which in my wardrobe means the one without the small stain I have been meaning to treat, and I went. I walked in and I picked up a program from the entrance table, and the first thing I saw on the front page was the logo of the sponsor, Okafor Digital Group. I stood at the entrance holding that program and I thought, Lagos. I thought, of course, stay with me. I told myself it was fine. Big company sponsors many things. He would not be here. This was not the kind of event a billionaire CEO attended personally. I moved through the room and I looked at the work on the walls and I talked to designers I knew, and I was actually having a good time. And then the room shifted the way rooms shift when someone important enters it. I have felt it before, the way a room reorganizes itself around someone powerful. The small adjustments people make without deciding to make them. I tracked the ripple across the room to the entrance. And there he was. Suit tonight, not the plain shirt. The full version of who he was. And he did not look like the man from the coffee shop at all. He looked like exactly what the magazine said he was. His eyes moved across the room, the way they always move, reading everything, and then they stopped on me, and the expression on his face did something I had not seen before. Not the coffee shop version of him surprised, the full version of him surprised, like he had not expected the two worlds to collide here, like he needed a moment to process what that meant. He came across the room. It took him 10 minutes because he was stopped every 4 steps by someone who needed something from him. I watched him move through all of it, gracious, efficient, present enough to be respectful, and brief enough to keep moving. And then he was in front of me, and neither of us said anything for a moment. He said, I did not know you would be here. I said, my company sent me. A pause. Then I said, nice suit. He looked at me for a moment, and something in his face relaxed slightly, because I had acknowledged the difference, the suit, the room, who he was here, and then kept talking to him exactly the same way I always had. He said thank you. Then, are you enjoying the showcase? I said I was, until I realized who was paying for it. He almost smiled. He said, is that a problem? I said, I will let you know. People noticed. Of course they noticed. In a Lagos industry room, when the most powerful person in the space spends 20 minutes talking to one person, everyone in the room is calculating who that person is and what it means. I could feel the attention from across the room. I chose to ignore it. I was talking to Toby, not to the room. A woman I knew from another agency appeared at my elbow. She asked, very casually, which meant very not casually, how I knew Mr. Okafor. I said we met on a bus. She looked at me like I had said we met on the moon. I said a BRT bus specifically. She looked at Toby, then back at me. Then she said, a BRT bus. I said yes. She decided I was being deliberately mysterious and went away to tell people I was being deliberately mysterious. I was not. It was just the truth. He had been watching. He told me later that what he saw was this. Someone had come to ask me who I was to him, and I had answered truthfully, we met on a bus, and not added anything to it, not implied anything, not used him as a step up. He said, Most people in that room would have said we are friends, or we are close, or would have let the question hang in a way that suggested more. I said we met on a bus because that was true and enough. He said that one sentence was worth more to him than an entire evening. The event ended and I gathered my things and said goodbye to the people I had come to talk to. I was heading for the door when I realized he was heading for the same door at the same time. We walked out together, not planned, not arranged, just the same direction at the same moment. Lagos night outside, the island alive and moving. We stood outside for a moment. The Lagos night was doing what Lagos nights do, loud and beautiful, and completely indifferent to whatever is happening in the lives of the people moving through it. He had loosened his tie. That small thing, the losing tie, made him look like the coffee shop version again. I noticed I was relieved by that. He said the coffee invitation from last week, is it still open? I looked at him. I said, you already come to the same coffee shop as me. He said, I mean somewhere that is not the coffee shop, somewhere I choose because I want to. He said it simply, directly, the way he said everything. And I stood on that pavement in the Lagos night and I thought, here it is, the thing that has been building for 2 weeks in a coffee shop on a side street. Here it is asking me a question. I said yes. Episode 6 is coming, the first proper meeting. Subscribe to Moonlight Tales by Joy so you never miss it. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Sunday. Like this video, share it, and tell me in the comments what would you have said if he asked you that. I read every single one.